Keeping an almost antique cabin cruiser looking like new is almost a full-time job. I use a combination of white spirit, a gel coat cleaner and a gel coat polish in order to achieve a really good shine. The white spirit gets rid of the scuff marks on the side of the boat. They're caused by bitumen from narrowboats. The narrowboats rub against the lock gates and the lock walls, and when the fenders touch them, it transfers and then transfers onto the side of the boat. Having done one side, we manually turn the boat round so that we can do the other side. One of the first things I had to do when I bought the boat was to rebuild the roof hatch. It was in quite a state and needed to be replaced as soon as I could manage it. But time has taken its toll, so we need to take a bit of care on it now and repaint it. After a good sanding down, Steve is applying a coat of a grey primer quick drying paint. That's followed by a coat of a silver effect gloss paint. Successfully reinstalled. After all that rushing around, it's time to break out the Cadac barbecue and cook a hearty breakfast. The Cadac Safari Chef 2 is proving to be a real winner and a great addition to the Swamp Duck. Other portable gas barbecues are available. One of the other early jobs that I did was to restore the engine cover, the slats of which were in a bit of a sorry state and they needed drying out and they need repainting and reinstalling. And having spent some time doing this, the end result was really good. However, once again, time has taken its toll, so now I had to replace the wooden slats completely, as the old ones had become broken and really beyond repair. The engine cover is once again looking as good as new. I've come over to the boat today to continue the work on the hatch on top of the boat, so I need to apply some yacht varnish just to seal it off and make it completely waterproof, and after that I just need to put some clear sealer around the edge of the glass. The Swamp Duck was due for its boat safety inspection at the end of August this year, and with moving the boat to a new mooring and lockdown and all the restrictions, it's been a bit of a nightmare trying to get that done. But finally I managed to find a local inspector who's willing to come out to the boat and do that for me. It only threw up one small problem, that was a couple of very tiny O-rings at the back of the cooker that had disintegrated and they just needed replacing, and after that the boat passed with flying colours, and I was very pleased because of all the electrical work that I have had to do on the boat, that it was all perfectly good and acceptable. So I'm glad to say that I am now the proud owner of a new 4-year certificate. Okay, so having got the Swamp Duck through its boat safety certificate, which has taken quite a bit of time, I now want to add a few extra things to the boat just to make life on board more comfortable. And one of the things I would like to do is to put in one of the diesel heaters.
So I've looked at where I could site it, and I cleared out this side of the boat, the locker on this side of the deck. Apart from some ballast bricks, there's nothing else in there at the moment, and I think this would be quite a good space to be able to put the heater, and also some ducting which would go through the back of the cupboard here, through this food cupboard and equipment cupboard. I could quite easily run an air duct round the back there through that cupboard, and also I could also have an air duct at the front here and the control panel, so I would be able to heat the cockpit, which would be absolute luxury, and also be able to heat the cuddy. Taking the duct through the back of this cupboard, the back of the cupboard under the sink, and eventually to come out just there by the waste bin underneath the box there that basically has the bedding in. So it would actually serve the purpose of keeping the bedding aired as well, and I'm sure it would have quite an impact on such a small space as I've got here. You can see at the moment I heat the cuddy with an electric bar which is 80 watts, so it helps to warm it, but during the depths of winter it's not going to make a significant amount of difference. And I've got a couple of those Uco candle heaters, but they throw out a lot of light, but they throw out some heat, but again not enough to combat an English winter on the canals. So I think a diesel heater is going to be my best bet. I need to do some measuring up, but I'm sure I will be able to site the fuel tank, which will be 10 litres, in the engine compartment. I'll be able to secure it to the back of the engine compartment, and it'll be nicely there tucked out of the way, and it means there's no fuel going to leak into the boat. But it's a bit of a mess in here at the moment, and one of the things I would be keen to do is to try and make sure that nothing's going to go awry with a heater in here. So I'm going to try and line this with some ceramic tiles, so that at least it would not be flammable material inside this box. So if anything did go awry, then it's not going to cause a significant amount of damage. The other thing I need to do here is, this is a gas pipe, so the intention is to break into that and put a gas tap about here, so that I can isolate that the gas there, so I can turn it off on the bottle. It can be turned off here, so the only bit that's going to be containing any gas would be, you know, a negligible amount in a pipe. So my main task today is to empty all of this ballast material out, put it to one side, and line this with tiles. And I bought some cheapo ceramic white tiles from Wilko, so that should do the trick. So that's what I'm about. The box of tiles itself weighs 9 kilograms, so that means I can reduce the ballast bricks by 9 kilograms at least. I want to actually reduce the amount of ballast in the boat generally, because it would be helpful in this very shallow water of the Ashby Canal. It would help the boat float a little easier, especially when you're getting it back into the mooring. Okay, so there we have it. I've done as much as I can do today, as I've run out of the adhesive for the tiles, so I need to get some more, but I'll be able to do 2 rows of tiles at the back and 2 rows along the bottom there, and then some at the end and some in the stern there. So it's going to make a tray really of ceramic tiles, And then I just need to think about something like a fire retardant material for the underside of the lid and this side of the wooden box. So I'm trying to make the whole thing as flame resistant as I possibly, flame retardant as I possibly can. And so if I don't want the heat, if there's any heat generated by the ducting on this diesel heater, I don't want it to affect the fiberglass on the side of the boat. Good afternoon from the cockpit of the Swamp Duck. It's been a few days since I was here last and started to do the tiling of this cupboard space here that I'm going to dedicate to putting in a diesel heater. I'm quite happy that the tiles that I put in have set rock solid, and I've bought some more adhesive, so I'm just going to finish tiling this side of the boat here. True to form today, it's a very different temperature, and the fact it's actually throwing it down with rain as well. So I might as well be inside the boat and do some of this work. I've marked out and need to cut out a hole for the warm air ducting. Okay, so there we have it. I've now cut out the hole ready for the warm air vent to go through it and through then to the cupboard under the sink. So I'm now going to tile all of this and obviously fill in that gap there. Okay, so I think that's the extent of the tiling done. It's made quite a nice, neat and clean space. And if it doesn't work out as a space for a diesel heater, I suppose I can always keep fish in there. Okay, so the back of the cupboard has now been lined with an aluminium insulating membrane, and the back of the boat, I've put the ballast bricks back. The tops of the locker have had the same treatment, which makes them a little bit more heat resistant, fire retardant. My next little job is to box in this wiring. This wiring is there as a 12 volt socket which I use to plug in the 12 volt cooler box, and there's an independent on off switch for it. So I'm going to box that in so those wires and that electrical work isn't exposed. Then a bit of tidying up as regards a lick of paint and some varnish around here, and I think the job's a good one. It's been a couple of days since I was at the boat preparing the compartment for the installation of a diesel heater. I hadn't yet ordered one because I really wanted to find out what I really needed, because there are so many different kits on the internet and they all have slightly different variations of equipment with them. So I needed to work out just exactly what I needed. I have now ordered one, but I've also had to order one or two other parts to go with it, so it isn't quite as simple as they make out on the internet. Not everything is included with the diesel heater kits, and there are a few things that you need to add to it just to make it a little bit safer.
The unit I chose has a mounting plate with it and also a remote control. I needed also some extra vent tubes and some exhaust wrap and an exhaust outlet pipe so that I don't melt the boat at any stage. I'm going to have to wait now for all of these parts to be delivered, some of which won't arrive until the beginning of September, so it's going to be some time before I can complete the whole installation of the diesel heater, but hopefully I can get it done in time for the colder weather. So thank you for watching, and I'll keep you updated and maybe do a vlog of the installation. There are plenty of them on YouTube because I've followed them myself, but this one is pertinent to my boat and it may be of some help to somebody else. Bye for now.